Hi everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here today. Do consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my videos. So today is my May Feel Good Favourites. I'll be talking about all the things that have inspired me, that I've enjoyed, and the places that I've been and the people I've seen and all that kind of stuff in the month of May. And my hope is that in some way that might inspire you, or give you some ideas, or give you something that you want to look into more. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, then just keep watching. So let's get into my May favourites. I've got quite a lot to share with you, so I might talk quite quickly. I will try and get through it as quickly as possible. And so what this is going to be about is having some of the things that I've experienced or used or enjoyed this month that might work for you, that might inspire you, or might just make you feel good to hear about them. So that's the reason for this video. If that's the kind of thing you like, then please do give it a thumbs up at whatever point during the video that you want to. So brilliant. I've got a list down here because there's a few things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is I've had a few different forms of clearing of resistance this month. They've all come towards the end of the month, which is interesting. So last month I had a couple of sessions that with different people that kind of helped me clear some stuff, and there's been a kind of a build up towards the end of this month, and a whole lot more has happened. So my business coach Carrie Lindeen had put on a masterclass for her academy members, of which I'm one. And we went to the Manor by the Lake, which is the most beautiful venue. I took some video, so I'll insert a little clip here. So we went to the Manor by the Lake. We had this wonderful day, and it was all about a business strategy that would help us with building our businesses, because that's a lot of what Carrie's about. But she's also about the mindset stuff and energy and resistance. And pretty sure you're going to know what resistance is, but it's that thing that's kind of when we want something, but there's a part of us resisting it, and it'll often come from beliefs that we've got. So Carrie had decided to put as part of this training session, not just about the business strategy, but also something about the resistance that any of us had to putting it into practice and to building our businesses and that. Because we've all got resistance about stuff. You know, if you're not living the perfect life, doing exactly what you want to do all of the time, then, you know, there's probably some resistance in there. So we did this exercise, which basically revolved around actually speaking that deepest fear out loud to each other. And it was really, really powerful, because what happens is we have these fears and then we bury them, and we don't talk about them, we don't say them, we don't even acknowledge they exist. And what happens then is we give them more power. So of course I know this stuff, but it doesn't mean that I can't get so much out of going through an exercise like that and doing that with Carrie and learning about it again. Just because I've already learned it doesn't mean I don't need to learn it again, because we all need reminders. So we went through this exercise and I felt a big shift. There was a lot of tears. I felt lighter afterwards, and a bit kind of fuzzy, as tends to be how I go after I've had a sort of a big clearing. So that was cool, really good, lovely day, fantastic. Now, by coincidence, which I don't believe in coincidences, I had already got booked in the next day something called Havening with a lovely lady called Janie Whitmore, and she was looking for a case study, and I volunteered, and as it turned out we'd booked it in the day after this training session with Carrie. So I went along to Janie. I hadn't really we needed something to work on. When you're doing these case studies, you need a thing to work on, and I'd got a few ideas of what I might want to do, but when I woke up that morning I knew I wanted to work on my big thing, like my big, deep, old thing that I have worked on a lot. So a lot of people have got something that's happened in their past that has led them to put up lots of barriers and form lots of beliefs. And I've been working through all of those for the last, since 2010 probably, if not a bit earlier, but you know, with more purpose. since about 2011, working through my stuff so that I can become more me, I can show up here for you, and I can show up with my clients and really help them on a deeper level. So I decided I wanted to work on this big thing, and it wasn't an easy thing to work on. So I went along to this havening with Janie. It was amazing. It was such a great therapy to experience. I'd used it a little bit myself, but only what I'd learned from a book. And what Janie did with me was truly amazing. So I will find a link for her and put her link down below so that you can check out her website. So we did this process of havening, which is, I think they call it a psychosensual therapy, where you're working on the mind, but you're also soothing the body by some stroking. And then she was kind of stroking my face, and while I was acknowledging the fear, all the feelings that I'd had that had never been spoken before. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, there's a theme here. Yesterday I was acknowledging that fear that I'm an imposter. Today I'm letting all these other feelings, I'm voicing these things that I have never said out loud before, or even realised consciously before, because they're all things that I felt when I was a child that I decided weren't appropriate to think. So so that was really kind of weird, because I'm like, okay, it's all about acknowledging what I'm really thinking. Okay, cool. So we did this work again, massive shift. I had energy rushing from me. Julie Cooper, if you're watching this, you'll know you were there when I had this before. Energy rushing through. I stood up, I couldn't stand still. I was letting it flow, there were tears, all this energy, and it was a massive shift. It was amazing, and I'm so grateful to you, Janie, for doing that case study with me, because you know I know deep down this is going to be a massive life change for me, and it's awesome. So thank you from my heart. And then by another coincidence, the next day, which was Friday, I had reflexology booked in with Kaylee. As if you've seen my self-care video, you'll know I go every single month for my reflexology, so it was time for that. And it was really interesting because she was doing the reflexology, same she normally does, and when she normally goes up the arch of my foot, it's always been really sore. And that's, I think that's your spine and your back, muscles around your back and stuff. And all of that area of my foot, on both feet, would be really sore. And I'd be kind of like, oh, almost jumping off the bed. And of course, Kaylee likes to really get in there and give it a good bit of work, so that would leave it like it would feel really tender. And she's been gradually working this area to make it better. Well, I noticed immediately that she started on that bit of my feet that the pain, there was no pain, it was just completely relaxing, and I was just completely feeling the benefit of her working on that area, and it was amazing. And she's also said afterwards that she'd noticed that my toes were a lot more flexible, and my whole feet were a lot less crunchy, in terms of there's a lot less stuff in there for her to work on. You know, if you've ever been for reflexology, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So I just thought that was amazing, that I think my body had been storing a lot of that stuff that I'd let go in the previous 2 days. It'd been storing in my back, which then shows up in your feet along, you know, those areas. I hope I'm saying that right, Kaylee. I'm sure you'll put me right if it's not quite there. But I thought it was amazing how that was suddenly, you know, that was instantly reflected in my reflexology treatment. That change, and some of that's from Kaylee's work that she's been doing, but that's been sort of gradual. And but I think I'm convinced that a big part of that is because of that work that I've done with releasing. So, you know, those are some of my favourites experiences, because it's been incredible to shift so much in such a short time. It takes me on to my second point, which is about a couple of YouTubers that I've been watching a lot of. And one of them is Melody Fletcher, who you may or may not have come across. She wrote a book called Deliberate Receiving, Finally the Universe Makes Some Frickin' Sense. And I met her at the Isbourne Centre here in Cheltenham. It's a holistic college. And she did a talk there about, you know, this topic of her book, which is about the law of attraction, but how to so the law of attraction involves you have to take action, of course. You can't just sit there and dream about Ferraris and you're going to have them raining down on you. You need to take some action out in the world. But it's also about how to be open to receiving, because we stop ourselves from receiving all the stuff that we want but you know, we're trying to manifest all these things, and we stop ourselves by not being open to them. And that comes back to those beliefs that we have that I was talking about earlier. So that's a really interesting link, and how I've been really kind of getting into Melody's videos on YouTube. She's just finished yesterday a 30-day challenge to do a video every day. So check out her channel. I'll put a little thing on the I button up here and a link down there if I remember as well, so you can check out Melody's stuff, because I really like her style. She's a bit swearing, a bit funny, and sassy, and I really like her. So you can check out Melody if you want to. So there was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm really enjoying Melody's videos, this is really cool. And I mean, one that particularly stuck out for me was she actually made it from her bed, because you know, like literally she'd woken up, she hadn't brushed her hair, brushed her teeth, she'd got no bra on, she just made a video in bed about like things don't have to be perfect. We wait till the time's perfect before we're going to do something, and a lot of us do that all the time. I'm a bit more of an implementer, so I'll just go, oh, poo to it, I'll just get on and do it and see how it turns out. That's kind of how I work when I learn something. But you know, there's other areas of my life where I do kind of wait for the thing to be completely perfect before I take action. And so she made this video all about perfection, so I recommend you find that one in the 30-day challenge. So as well as Melody, I've just literally today, you know how YouTube just shows you different suggestions for videos and stuff, and this lady called Amy Westmoreland came up, and I've never heard of her, never come across her name at all, but she was talking about resistance, and she was saying that the key to letting go of resistance is actually accepting that you've got it, accepting the circumstances that you're in. Doesn't mean you have to like it, it doesn't mean you're agreeing with it, it doesn't mean you're saying it's okay, but it's accepting that it's there and that's how it is at the moment. And so it's really interesting that how it's all coming round to that deep acceptance of how we feel, what we think, who we are, what our life is like, our bank balance, our partner, our relationship, the car we drive, you know, accepting as it is, and accepting any resistance we've got to accepting it, you know, just acknowledging that it's there and saying, yes, okay, I have this resistance. It's okay to have resistance. Lots of people have resistance. I'm having resistance right now, and accepting it. And when we accept this stuff, as what happened in, you know, Kara's session, when you accept it and you voice it and you say it, and it's, you stop fighting it, it just drifts away, it goes, it's just poof, gone. So it's quite incredible how all of this stuff is tied together this month. So Amy Westmoreland, I will link to her YouTube channel as well up here, or wherever it shows up, I can't remember. I never know which side it is when I'm making the video, and I watch it back and I'm like, why are you pointing up there? So that's, you know, a lot of experiences this month that hopefully will be inspirational to you, or give you some insight, or give you just that little something that will just trigger a thought for you. And if you do get a thought triggered, you know, take action on that thought, move it forward. If you are feeling resistance to something, then accept that you're feeling resistance to that thing. Write down all the ways you're resisting it. Write down all the things you're scared of about it. Acknowledge that stuff, and then you can let it go. You can't let it go until you acknowledge it. And it's about really getting real about what's going on, and not trying to change everything. So the next thing I want to talk about is some of the audiobooks I've been listening to. So I've got a couple on the go. I've been trying to listen to one, and I've tried to listen to it. And it's one of those, you know, do you ever get that when you get a book and you just can't get into it, and you just keep trying to read it and you just can't read it? I mean, if you saw my blue book collection in my vlogs, I have The Power of Now, and it took me so long to read that book by Eckhart Tolle. Really hard book to read for me. But I did it, I got through it, and I've actually listened to an audio book, and it was a lot better to listen to for me, my experience. So I've got this book on Audible that I really want to read with my ears, and it's about how the power of how toddlers work, and bringing that to how we do our stuff, how we be creative and all that kind of stuff. and it's really, I love the content, but I'm really struggling with his voice. The guy who wrote the book is reading it, and I just can't. So I struggled with it for days and days and days, forcing myself to listen to like little chunks every day. And I had a quick chat, like I do a Facebook Live every week for my VIP clients, and we would get in our wisdom card for the week, and I was just like, oh, it's just, you know, it was, I think we had the card was self-awareness that week, and I was just like, oh, this book, I'm really still trying to listen to it, and I was like, hang on a minute, bit of self-awareness. Why don't I just like stop trying to listen to this book right now? Maybe now's not the right time. Maybe I need to get it in a different format because I want the content. I just can't. I'm just not able to listen to it at the moment. It's just not working for me. So it was really interesting how that sort of came about. That it was that card, the card that I picked, was perfect for what I needed to learn that week. So if you didn't see my last favourites, in April favourites, I was talking about my wisdom cards, and it's incredible how the card is always relevant. So anyway, I digress. We're not talking about cards right now. But as a result of that conversation with my VIPs, what I decided to do was just listen to another book. So I had lined up in my Audible The Alchemist. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's by Paulo Coelho, something like that. If you've listened to or read The Alchemist, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. And also, actually, with the toddler book, it's called hang on, I have it written down. It's called Little Wins: The Huge Power of Thinking Like a Toddler by Paul Lindley. If you've listened to or read that book, let me know in the comments. Should I, persist with it? Should I find a different way to get it? Is it worth the read? Yeah. So anyway, back to The Alchemist. If you've read that, let me know. I saw it in a comment. What was it in? I think it was on a YouTube video somewhere, and someone had commented about the book that they'd, really helped them in terms of creating the life that they really want. And The Alchemist is a fable about following your dreams. It's about following your dreams. And I'm really enjoying it. It's narrated by Jeremy Irons, so it's quite interesting because he does all the different voices, and it's set in, it starts in Spain and it heads over to Africa. It's so good. I'm really enjoying it, and it's just quite nice for me to, I'm always listening to something that's good for me. I had a client on the phone yesterday who's very similar. I'm always listening to or reading books that are related to my work, and I love reading those things and I love listening to that stuff, but obviously part of me was thinking, oh, can I just take a break and listen to a story? I just want a story. So I've been listening to The Alchemist, which is a story. Obviously it's teaching through the story, but I'm loving the just taking my feet off the pedal and just allowing the story to teach me instead of having to learn something all the time. Self-awareness, people. So just so you know, I practice what I preach. I am walking the walk and talking the talk, and I'm always reminding myself when I'm talking to you guys that I need to keep this stuff in the front of my mind. So there's a couple of other things that are my favourite things of this month, and they're a bit random, as you're probably expecting if you saw the first one. So the first thing is my office being tidy. I don't know if you saw my video about my dirty little secret, but my office was a tip. Not this bit that you see, this bit's lovely, but all of my desk, which is kind of the length of the room, was covered in paperwork and stuff that didn't belong in here, and it was just a mess. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't work in here. It was just a muddle, a big fat muddle. And so I, in desperation, because I just couldn't make myself do it, I got my lovely client and VA, Jamie, in to help me. So she came and basically stood over me saying, what's this bit of paper? And I'm like, it's whatever it is. And she said, oh, put it there. And that's all she needed to do. But for some reason, I just could not do that for myself. So it's always easier to do other people's stuff than it is to look after your own. Do you find that? That's what I find. So I'm loving my tidy office. I'm not going to show you. If you want to see the video, then I will link it somewhere up here or down there, or, wherever. And you will see the transformation of my office, my dirty little secret. So we're on the last two now. So the next thing I want to talk about is this beautiful, beautiful journal. So there was a whole bunch of coincidences that have led me to getting this, and again I say coincidences with air quotes because I don't really believe in them. But it's a beautiful journal. It's called Love Yourself Lean. It's by Kelly, let me get her name right, Terranova. And I met her at a health and wellness event last weekend before last, and picked up one of her journals from her. She created this journal. It's basically got colouring and, excuse the dog, someone's coming to the door, and lots of kind of advice. But then you have these sections that you fill in for each day, and that's my next mission, is to start doing that every day. I've been colouring in some of the bits. So there's one more thing I want to talk about. I'm going to make a video about all the coincidences that happen and go into that journal a bit more. So look out for that. Subscribe if you haven't already to make sure that you pick that up. And you might want to click the little bell that's next to it, which will make sure you get all the notifications. So there you have it. That's my May feel-good favourites. Do write down in the comments below if you have a favourite audiobook you've been listening to this month, or a favourite therapy, or a favourite highlighter. Just pop it down in the comments. I would love to see what your favourites have been this month. If you like this video, then do please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me to know what you like and what you don't like. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos and you're already subscribed, if you look next to the button, there's a little grey bell thing, and if you click on that, it'll make sure that you get notified every single time. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy trying out some new things in the month of June, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Have a fabulous day.